So we are going to study the 4 grand elements of creation as taught by the Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Eliyahu Pinchas Shadeh. And also the lesson is drawn from the teachings of the Holy Ari. In our previous lessons, we are made to know that the Holy Ari spent part of his life in Africa. At the age of 15, he was already a great sage in Africa. He was the greatest Talmudic student until Eliyahu Hanavi, the prophet, instructed him to go back to Israel, where he spent the rest of his life and died, passed on. So the Holy Ari did a lot on the sword, the inner Torah that we are learning now. In the inner Torah, there is what we call the 4 elements of creation. What are those 4 elements? Then how are they related to the way we behave? The way we behave, we might think is something at the surface. It's something deep inside our soul. The way we behave, our behavior, our traits, our character. It's not something at the surface. That's why when somebody is doing something wrong, you can even advise, you can talk from here till tomorrow. It might not improve the person, because what is making the person to do something bad is right inside the soul. What, brother? How are you?
Baruch Hashem, everything is fine.
Ratete from Ghana. Are you still in Sefi?
Yes, please, man, Rosh.
Oh, that is wonderful. I didn't know. I would have been getting some updates from you. So back to the lesson. We mentioned in the title or the theme of today's lecture or tutorial that there are 4 grand elements of creation.
Yeah.
In everything you see in the universe, there are 4 things present there. Is it a car? Is it a piece of a loaf of bread? That's 4 things. Is it a piece of wood, a metal, liquid? It's made up of 4 elements. And the 4 elements, namely, are fire, water, wind, and earth. Even in the human system, those 4 things are present. Anything in the universe that is created by Hashem has those 4 things. Even in your soul, they are the blocks that build your soul. So they are like 4 blocks Hashem used to build everything in the universe. Even if you have fire burning, and inside the fire there is 4 elements in them. If you have a pool of water, these 4 elements are in them. So let's talk about elements. Let's talk about the 10 elements. 10 elements. Are we talking about the element they study in chemistry? The element they study in science? There is a question posed to us. According to scientists, there are over 100 elements in the periodic table. Is that not a contradiction to the Torah? The Torah is saying we have 4 elements, 4. But science is saying we have over 100 elements in the periodic table. So that claim does not contradict the Torah. Do you know why? The 4 elements of the Torah are the basic. Basic. From there, you have divisions. Sorry. So even when the scientist is telling you they have even when the scientist is telling us that they have 100 elements, the Kabbalists know that the Kabbalists, they know that we have thousands of elements. But these are the grand fundamental four. From these four, other elements emanated. Just like you divide something into different this thing. So that's what Kabbalah and science are saying.
Okay.
Everything, including what is known in chemistry as the 118 elements of the periodic table, are created from the four grand elements of fire, water, wind, and earth. These four elements are actually the grand elements that have many subdivisions. Kabbalah is aware of the fact that there are thousands of elements that emanated from the four grand elements of creation. Now, another question. Are human beings made up of these four elements? The answer is yes. Every vegetable, every mineral, every animal, every human, every spiritual entity, even the soul that we have is fused from the four elements. And the soul contains four elements. The body contains four elements, which I have just named. Every entity is a piece of the four elements. What are their Hebrew names? Fire is H. E-S-H. Fire is H. Water is what? What are you? Mayim. Good.
Mayim.
The wind is ruach. Why earth is Adama, or dust is Adama. So these are the four basic elements from which everything is made. How do we know that these elements are in a person? Now we want to know whether those elements are in us. How do we know? When we talk of fire, do you have the same temperature with a steel or a metal in your house? If you touch your wall and you touch your body, or you feel the body of human being, you will see that the wall is cold, but the human body has higher temperature. It means it's higher inside the human body. That's why you have a temperature that is higher than that of your environment, for instance. Water, we have a lot of fluid in the body. Fluid, blood, and all those ones. That is the water. The wind, when we breathe in air, the lungs trap it and send it to other parts of the body. And you breathe out. Oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange. That is the air. What of dust? Your skin, the flesh, the bones, these are the dust. So you can now see that the four elements are present in a human body. In case you have a question, just let me know. You can interrupt and we'll answer your question, because we are moving just like moving in a train. I want everybody to move together so that no one will be left out. Now, let us learn whether the elements are something that are just static. They are just there. They cannot, nothing can emanate from them. Nothing can come out of the elements. Are they just there like piece of materials that nothing can come out of? The four elements are dynamic. The behavior of a person comes from the elements in his soul. You can see, these are the teachings of the Holy Hari, that the behavior of a person comes from the elements in the person's soul. So the way we behave when we are arrogant, when we are angry, when we talk too much, when we are humble, when we stop, refrain from talking nonsense, all those characters, everything, the Middot, they are engraved inside the soul. They are the manifestation of the elements. It's the elements that are making us to do all those things, whether good character or bad character. It depends on the nature of the element. Each element has a good side and also an evil side.
Okay.
Each element has a good side and also a bad side. Bad and ugly behavior of people depends on the elements in their soul. So another question, are the righteous free from the influence of the elements? Can you say because the person is righteous, is not influenced by the elements? We come deeper, we understand what we are trying to say. There are things we are trying to say, but as we go on, we understand. Sorry. Everyone, whether he's a Zadik, a righteous person, a wicked person, is a product of a mixture of good sparks and bad sparks. So there is good and bad in every person. Just like we studied the other time, that Adam, Harishon, and Chava, after they sinned, what happened? Evil and good mixed together. So that is why we are able to understand that even the elements from which we are created also have good and evil. Every now and then, a little of evil can be found in a righteous person. On the other hand, a little good can also be found in an evil person. So nobody is 100% good. Nobody is 100% bad or evil. This is what is said in the Tanakh. There are some righteous people who are reached by or can perform acts of the wicked. This Ecclesiastes 8:14. It's telling us some righteous people can also do some wicked things. Because why? Ingrained in his soul, there is nothing like 100% good. It's mixed. The body is mixed with good and evil. The soul is mixed. It's a mixture of good and evil. So why? Because the elements from which the person is created, everything is created, the elements are not free. The elements are mixture of good and evil. Fire is a mixture of good and evil. So later we know the good side of fire and the evil side of fire. So the good side of fire will give us some good behavior, while the bad side of fire will give us some bad behavior. From time to time, we hear the news of the good meritorious action of a wicked person. So it means that a wicked person can also be good. That somebody is good today does not mean the person is not wicked. It's not a guarantee that the person is not wicked or is not going to be wicked. So we also witness some righteous people who sin in ways that even the wicked do not. Somebody can be very righteous, but he can do some dangerous things that can hurt their neighbor. Because you remember what we said, we are studying Middot so that we will not hurt ourselves, so that we can stay together. When we come together, we'll be able to stay together. If we have bad characters, we will not be able to stay together. We can come together and within 2-3 days, we are scattered, or we begin to hurt ourselves. But if I behave well, Angel, Wilberforce, you behave well, Aviva behave well, Sister Ingrid behave well, Kezai, you behave well, all of us can go in the same place without hurting each other. That is the end. Because Hashem does not want us to hurt our fellow. Hashem wants us to love our fellow. But how can you love when something bad is inside your soul? so shalom, we are back. It's like the network.
Yes, the network is very bad.
Yeah. Network is poor. Let's try. Sorry for the break.
No worries.
So we are still on the fact that nothing is 100% good, and there is nothing that is 100% bad.
Recording in progress.
So everything is a mixture of both good and bad.
No, it's good.
So how do we relate that to the offshoots of the elements? Now let's say fire. Let's take fire for instance. Fire has good side and the bad side. When you see somebody hot, full of anger, ready to do anything bad, welcome back. The network is really poor.
Yes, hello, Marush.
Yeah, welcome back. The network is really poor, but let's manage what we have. So this session is closed. We start a second session so that we have time to interact because the hello, I'm still with you.
Hello.
The network. So let's talk about something like fire.
Fire.
Fire has good side and bad side. The bad side of fire, pride, is arrogance. When somebody is angry, we say the person is hot.
Hot.
When person is angry, we say the person is hot. So let's pick just one word. The bad side of fire is pride. So pride or arrogance comes from fire. So when you see pride at the outside, what is inside is fire. So it's like a tree with leaves and branches. The leaves and branches you see is the anger, is the pride, is the arrogance. But the root is actually fire.
Fire.
Now the next one, air. From air comes what?
Speeches.
Evil speech. From air comes evil speech. So the root of the tree, if the root of the tree is air, what you see at the external or the leaves, branches, is unnecessary talk, unnecessary speech. Speech that will not increase the value of human being, including Lashon Hara. There are some people, if you ask, I want to know Angel, I know Angel in Ghana, can you tell me about Angel? In 5 minutes, I would not like to come close to Angel again. Just 5 minutes talk. I wouldn't like to come close to Angel again. Why? Because he has released a lot of evil speeches, unnecessary speech against Angel. Hello, you are from Uganda. Hey, wow, good. I know Sister Aviva. Oh, those people. Do you know their synagogue? Do you know what they even observe? You know, are they real Jews? I know Aviva very well. I have been with her for 10 years. These are unnecessary speech. If you must talk, say something that will add value to the other person's life. If possible, instead of you to do lashara, you keep your mouth shut. Just seal your lips. We are back again. We don't know what the network is doing to us. Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
So I was talking about air. That is the one that produces an unnecessary speech, unwanted speech, such as lashon hara, telling lies, praising your own self, announcing the good things you've done. You know, that is air. But what about water? From water comes what? Lust. Lust for excessive desire, excessive pleasure. If you don't curtail your lust for excessive pleasure, you cannot really do kashrut. You cannot observe the laws concerning our diet.
Okay.
The urge for necessary pleasure is the one that makes people to do what? To go into sexual sin. One partner is not enough. I want more partners. I really want to enjoy myself. I need another girl, another woman. I need another man in addition to my husband. I want to enjoy. I want to know pleasure, pleasure. When it comes to food, pleasure, pleasure. It comes to intimacy with people of the same pleasure. It comes to money, you want to be the richest. So pleasure is an offshoot of water. Then earth, you know, the weight of earth is heavy. So when someone is depressed, you know, depression comes from the earth element. We are talking about the bad side. We've not started talking about the good side.
Okay.
So the bad side of each element is what we've just touched. We have said that arrogance or pride is the offshoot of fire. We have also said that unnecessary speech is the offshoot of the air element. And we said lust for desire is the offshoot of the water element. Depression is the offshoot of the earth element. Sometimes instead of earth, we use the word dust.
Dust.
Good. So before we end this session, let's go to why do we behave the way we do? We are going to take an analysis of it. Why do we behave the way we do? Drawing from the lesson we have just learned. So it depends on what is inside our soul. What is inside our soul have we just mentioned? We mentioned 4 things that are inside our soul. Angel, can you help us? Can any person help us?
Yeah. We have fire.
Good.
In the soul. And we have the element of air in the soul. And we have the element of earth in the soul. And air, water, fire, and earth.
Good. So the way we behave comes from those elements. When the fire inside your soul is strong, you will be prone to be angry. Any little thing will spark you. You know, when I'm angry, I can destroy anything. I can do anything. I can even forget about the Torah. You know, I can deal with you. You know, the person will start boasting. anger.
Yeah.
All the Torah he has learned will not help because of anger. You expose his secrets, you expose his flaws, he will say, oh, let the world finish today. I will destroy the world. You know, anger. Anger can fool us. That's why we are learning it.
Okay.
So that when we will come together, if I can control my anger, you can control your anger. We will not fool ourselves, make a fool of ourselves. Or somebody from your family just went for a meeting. The next thing you heard that he has been fighting the group. He fought with Mr. Ben. He fought with Mr. A, Mr. B. So one person fighting everybody, one person quarreling with everybody, is inside the soul of the person. It's not an external thing. Something is wrong so that we need to fix. So that is the answer. That's how we are studying. So, and you will see that when we go further, you are going to see that nobody has all the elements balanced. We came to this world with flaws, with errors, with evil ingrained in our soul. So it is our duty, according to the Holy Ari, that it is our duty to spend our life fixing those Middot, fixing those elements, fixing those character. Okay. If you cannot fix your character and you observe the Torah, at the end of the day, the Torah will even bring disgrace to us. Because by the time you become a great Hacham, a great rabbi, a great teacher, only anger can disgrace you. On Shabbat, you can raise your fist against your brother on Shabbat. Then if you only doing so, we just, in short, finish all the things you spend years to build. All the reputation you spend years to build is finished with 5 minutes anger. So that's why we are learning them. So our behavior depends on what is inside our soul. The 4 elements are in our soul. The 4 elements are the root of our character, the root of our Middot. We have good Middot because the elements are good in nature. We also have bad Middot because the elements are also bad in nature. The fire in our soul makes us behave according to the nature of fire. The water in our soul makes us behave according to the nature of water. The air in our soul makes us behave according to the nature of air. When we behave according to the bad nature of fire, when we become angry with our fellow, we end bad Middot, which in Hebrew we call Middot Ra'ot. Bad Middot.
Ra'ot. Middot Ra'ot.
So the essence of studying this thing is for us to live in peace and harmony, to increase our happiness. A group where people are always angry, is there happiness in that group? Group where people are quarreling here and there. I am the one that started this community. When I started it, you were not here. Today I'm going to scatter everywhere today, so that you will know that you will know, you need to know me today. Me. Not somebody will be beating his chest on Shabbat, on a festival day, in the midst of his students, in the midst of ladies and gentlemen. So we need to learn how to not to humiliate ourselves. That's how we are learning Middot. Joshua, welcome.
My teacher, shalom.
It's good to see you after the long break. That is not how I want you to. That's not how I want
just that sometimes I'm busy.
But that's not how I want you to treat me, please. I always miss you when I don't see you. Shalom, Eliezer.
No. Shalom.
Okay.
Shalom.
I'm so happy that good. My joy is that Africans are networking through Torah. We are connecting our sparks. We are connecting our sparks with one another. It's my great joy. No other thing. Amen. And the rabbi that is teaching us is an African. He is teaching us what no rabbi has taught us.
Yes.
Some of us,
Yes.
we have spent 20 years, 30 years in Nigeria, in Africa, doing Torah, but nobody has taught us things that are deep like this, that my character is engraved in my soul. It's from my soul. Not
You are
from
correct,
not from the external. In churches, they will say, oh, this thing that is happening to this man, these witches and wizards, let us go to church with cutlass.
Yes.
Let's go to church with a cane to flog the devil. Judaism, there's nothing like that. The thing is inside your soul.
Your soul.
So, what did the rabbi told us? He said, if you are dealing with people and you don't know what is in their soul, then you are bound to fail. From this analysis, you will be able to look at your children and know which elements dominate the child. You can look at your husband and know which element dominates your husband. So you are reading your husband to his soul. What you need to do is to assist him. Let's rectify. I learned something new today. Let's rectify. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Time is almost up. We will end this session and then I will send you the link for the other one. You have a question?
Okay. Rabbi, will you be touching on, okay, so they identify those 4 elements and see like, okay, the anger, the battle, but the balance, are you going to identify how to go about
yes,
correcting how to go about balance?
Yeah, we are going to do that later because we are progressing from one stage to the other. Because these lessons are actually difficult, but we have come to break them down so that the ordinary person can understand them. If you sit with my rabbi now and you listen to what he's teaching, you may hardly pick some of these words or the meaning of what we are saying. So that's why we have come down to put them in writing so that any person can pick the written material and join us in learning. So let's go over to the next session. Shalom. Thank you.
Okay, shalom.
Shalom, Aros.
Shalom.